Getting the start in a fairly important game at home is a good vote of confidence for you from the coaching staff.
Yeah, of course. Every time the coach said I need to show them that I can do the job, and it's not different today.
Are you feeling more and more comfortable as the days go by and the starts go by?
Yeah, of course. That should happen like every year. Get the game better like day after day, and that's all that matters.
When exhibition season ended, it was a little bit of time before you got your first start. What things did you work on in that period of time?
Tough to say like one thing, but we did like a lot. Work hard like every day after the ice, and tough to say what did I like.
Was getting used to different angles, the ice, was that a big part of adjusting for you?
Yeah, a little bit like that too. Like the angles are different, but you know it's past now, and now we live in this day.
Thanks, Miko.
Probablement pas la situation qu'on voudrait être présentement, mais je pense qu'il y a beaucoup à apprendre de notre dernière semaine. C'est une longue saison, il y a beaucoup de matchs, le voyagement, puis évidemment je pense qu'on a une équipe un peu plus jeune, puis c'est peut-être un bon moment pour nous durant la saison d'apprendre de nos erreurs. Puis, je pense que c'est quelque chose qui peut nous aider dans le futur puis dans les mois plus importants.
On peut-tu appeler ça un must-win pour ce soir?
Oui, mais je pense que j'irais peut-être pas à dire must-win, mais c'est une game qui est importante pour nous en raison de la qualité de notre jeu. Je pense que c'est ça qui est plus important, c'est d'essayer de jouer une game de 60 minutes, d'être prêt pour le début du match, puis je pense que dans les derniers matchs, dans nos 4 dernières défaites, il y a des moments durant la game où on s'endort un petit peu. Puis, ce qui est important, c'est de jouer 60 minutes. Puis, la qualité de notre jeu, la qualité de nos détails dans notre système. Puis, c'est là-dessus qu'on va focusser ce soir.
Qu'est-ce qui fait principalement défaut, Alex? Est-ce que c'est sur l'attaque, c'est sur les défensifs?
Je pense que c'est juste les petits détails dans notre jeu. Je pense que tout le monde veut contribuer offensivement le plus possible, mais il y a des matchs où les choses vont peut-être pas aller de la manière qu'on veut. Puis il y a d'autres facettes de la partie qui est importante. Donc je je pense que c'est juste la qualité de notre jeu, la qualité des soucis du détail durant les matchs. Puis avec la qualité des joueurs qu'on a ici, le reste devrait aller de la bonne façon.
Les premiers buts sont importants dans l'Union nationale, de marquer le premier but.
Again tonight, how much pressure going into this game after the 4 game losing streak?
I don't know about pressure. Obviously we want to turn this thing around and get back on the right track. But if we're just adding pressure to ourselves, it definitely doesn't help. So I think we're just approaching it as a new day. It's a new game, new opportunity for us against a pretty good team right now, and we're just going to make sure we come out with a good start. We've been kind of slacking in that department lately, but if we get off to a good start, I think we'll be all right tonight.
Figure anything out, just kind of why you might have come out a little bit flat against Colorado? Have you kind of discussed it and wondered, kind of figured out what happened there?
No, I mean, not really. There could be many different things. We had a long road trip, and the first game back from a road trip is always tough, but we don't want to make excuses. We just came out flat, and they came out hungry, and I think we learned a good lesson from that. I think we got to play with a little more desperation, especially early on. Keep play simple early on, and like we've been preaching all week long, just making sure that we're taking care of the defensive zone first and not just cheating for offense, and I think that's going to help us out a lot.
What are these games like for you guys? Because it's mostly Montreal fans and they're very loud.
Yeah, it's a fun atmosphere. You got both crowds going kind of back and forth, and they have a pretty good following here. It definitely makes for a lively environment, and these are definitely fun games to play, especially anytime you play an original 6 team. It's always fun, and it should be a good one tonight.
Greg, when they reunite McDavid and Draisaitl, what's the kind of the memo for you? Going into this kind of a game in this kind of scenario, how do you see yourself on that line?
I just got to play the same way I've been playing all year. I got to play fast. I got to play hard. Try and create opportunities and win loose pucks for them. Keeping plays alive and kind of being that first guy in the forecheck and doing some of the dirty work. Obviously, guys like Leon and Connor, they want the puck on their stick, and the more they have the puck on their stick, the better they're going to be. So if I can just find any way to keep the puck on their stick longer, or find ways to get the puck to them in good opportunities, they're going to make all the plays they can. So I've just got to do my job and play my role and just try and help out any way I can.
You got to be forward, but does it feel a little different when you're playing with that tandem?
No, I think I've played enough with them over my 3 years now that I understand how both of them play. I play with them as a full line together, and I play with them separately. And I think I got a pretty good understanding on how they both want to play the game, and then how they want to play the game together. So I think with my skill set, I can complement them quite a bit, and just make sure I give them every opportunity to have the puck that they can.
Do you feel like you mentioned you played a fair amount with Connor? Either the two of you are.
Yeah, they've done a really good job, and I think growing up in Montreal and moving to Quebec, I've always been a team that obviously follow closely on TV.
Is there any tinge of mixed emotion when you play Montreal now, or are they the enemy and that's that?
Yeah, I think it's the enemy, and every game's important. I think if you asked me that question earlier in my career, I think it would have been, always nervous or, kind of a bit excited. But now I think it's not that I get used to it, but like I said, I think it's special playing them. But I think over the years, I've learned to, kind of turn the page and focus on the game.
Alex, were there certain players that you grew up that you watched, or maybe that in Montreal? What stood out to you?
I think I was Vincent D'Anfos was huge fan. I was a huge fan, and I think also as I got older, I was a big Koivu fan. That was one thing that's, I think, really neat in my career. Is my first NHL game. We played Anaheim, and I was back in Dallas, and on one of the face-off, one guy, Vernon Fiddler, got kicked out, and kind of looked up. I was taking a draw against Koivu, so those two guys, I think, were two guys I looked up, and special to play up against one of them for sure.
Two good ones. Thank you.
Thank you.
Going into tonight's game, is it just like going into any other game, or is the fact that you guys have lost 4 in a row weighing on your minds?
Yeah, I think what's important tonight is not thinking about losing 4 in a row and thinking, oh, we got to win this one. I think what we got to focus on is the quality of our play and making sure we focus on the details and the things that makes us, a successful team. I think we've lacked some of that in the last 10 days or so. So just bring up our compete level, play the right way, and the rest will take care of itself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.
talking to some of the guys in the room, they were talking about having to start on time today. But when you have a team like the Montreal Canadiens come in here, and you have the energy that kind of follows them and the energy in the building. I don't suspect that would be a problem today.
Well, let's hope not. You know, again, you kind of summed up what it's like to play against an original 6 team, Montreal in particular. Everybody's a little more excited, fans, players. You know, so we need to get off to a better start. We'd like to play with the lead. We haven't done it for 4 games. Prior to that, you go back to the Detroit game. We score early. We feel good about ourselves, and it's not necessarily the goal. It's the input into establishing a direct type of game that we need to get back to. We had it earlier in the year. We need to get back to it.
It's been a bit of a tough stretch for Cam with, I think, 4 straight losses. Can you maybe just discuss where you feel his game is at? And then on top of that, the decision to go with Mikko tonight and what you've seen from him.
Yeah, Mikko will play tonight. We've been going back and forth here trying to establish a backup situation that Mikko's in right now. He's given us some very good games, confidence builders in Nashville right off the bat. He really played well, and I think the team, their belief system in him went way up, and he's played very well. So he'll go again tonight. He'll be, I'm assuming Carey Price is going to play. It'll be a thrill for him to play against Carey and to play against the Canadiens. So he's looking forward to that opportunity.
Todd, we're seeing a little bit of a shift in hockey here. There's a lot more smaller players. There's a lot more attention paid to big hits. And what the result has been some hits that, like Cassian, throwing some hits against some smaller players that are getting penalized that in retrospect might not penalties. Are you seeing a shift, and is it harder to be a big physical player in today's game?
I think there is a shift. There's a heightened awareness to protecting players, not only in our sport, but sport general. You think about football and the quarterback and the controversies that are behind that, and it's hard to argue with the protection of the player, whether it be the head or the rest of the body. And there's a newer generation that's taking over the game. They're quicker, they're smaller. I think there's less contact. There's a lot more anticipating where the puck's going and stripping and picking passes off. It doesn't mean that the big, heavy, hard player, there's still a place for them in the game. They've just got to adjust their game a little bit. A lot of times finishing the check, you're running out of position, and now you got to catch up. But you know, as far as the penalties go, I think the game is going that direction. I'm sure it's going to stay that way. I don't see it slipping back to days in the past, if you will.
Todd, good to see you. The Habs have caught a lot of people off guard, I think, this year with their speed level. When you look across at their bench, the challenges that they'll present to your team tonight?
You answered your question. Speed and tenacity up front. They scored a lot of goals 5-on-5. They are puck hounds. You may beat one, but the next one's going to be there, and they have that next man up mentality when it comes to forecheck. When you talk about beating a forecheck, you usually talk about that initial wave and now get it out of your end and get going, but they happen to have more than one wave. That initial one, the re-attack before you're out of your zone, maybe that just at your blue line again. So there's almost 3 stages of beating their tenacity, and it's been very effective for them. They've been able to score 5-on-5, so they've got it going right now. And I say this almost every night: we've got our work cut out for us.
Todd, when you're in a bit of a slide like this, is the message to the guys to try not to put too much pressure on yourselves to kind of get out of it, just go out and play, and you'll get out of it that way? Because it just seems like, obviously, you're in a city where things go sour, people kind of, the sky is falling type thing.
Yeah, we can't hide. There's pressure on us. I can't walk in there and say, hey guys, don't worry about the pressure, it doesn't exist. Yeah, it exists. We're in the NHL, we're in a Canadian city, and we're expected to be playing better than we are right now. So the last thing I'm going to do is go in there and pretend I'm hiding in the weeds and it doesn't exist. It exists. Now play with it. Pressure is one thing. It's the frustration that's the worst of the 2 evils. Pressure comes in this league. It comes if you're a star player. It comes if you're a 4th line player and you're trying to stay in the league. It comes when you're winning. It comes when you're losing. Every team has it. We talk about it a lot more when you're on a 4-game losing streak, but when you're on a 4-game winning streak, that pressure still exists. So accept it, deal with it, channel it, get rid of the frustration, and play a better game.